Good morning or afternoon, wherever you live. It is Taylor along with Jake and Barb. Today we are discussing last night's Group B playoffs on The Masked Singer. It was a fantastic show. We're going to get into everything that happened last night, including the shocking unmasking, which I don't think anybody, I didn't see the name at all on social media. And usually even a shocking guess, I see the name a few times, but no. We'll
This
get into
one,
that.
this one was a jaw dropper. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into
I
that.
was
We'll get in.
shook.
We will get into a lot, but let's go ahead and start first with the Serpent with an interesting song choice. He sang "The Bones" by Maren Morris. I thought it was a fantastic performance. I really enjoyed it. Looking at the clues, he said he growing up he could barely pay rent. He sold clothes, and when it showed him selling the clothes, it was a bunch of doctor scrubs that he was selling. Also, he was seen driving in a pink Cadillac with what looked like some sort of award. His everybody had a childhood clue tonight, and his was a baby bottle, and he said that the clue could get your wheels turning. Jenny guessed Taye Diggs. Joel McHale guessed Jesse Williams. Neither one was a good guess. And then Nicole guessed Brian McKnight, who we've sort of toyed with, but I really don't think any of the clues fit except maybe the award clue. What do you guys think of the performance?
I liked it. I preferred his performance last week more.
Yeah,
I guess
me
it's
too.
just me. I still think this was a good performance.
Mm-hmm.
As far as who I think it is, I said this before, and I'm going to stick with it. I think it's Leslie Odom Jr. He's got a very unmistakable voice, so I'm going to say it's Leslie Odom Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I have to agree. Yeah, the performance, all the performances were really good last night. But Serpent was awesome, and it's either gonna be Leslie or Tay, but
Yeah.
I'm leaning more towards Leslie at this point.
I know exactly who this is.
I know
I had
exactly who this is,
I
y'all.
had to do it. But anyway, I'm really leaning towards Taye Diggs, and the reason why I'm really doing it is because all the clues match up. But one thing that really isn't that's sort of pushing me away from Leslie Odom Jr. is these shocking reveals we've had the past few weeks, like this
Right.
week with Baby Alien and last week with Giraffe. Because, like I said, with Giraffe, the clues, like the crashing and burning, really pointed to Travis Barker, the drummer from
Right.
Blink 182. And like the reason everybody thinks it's Leslie Odom Jr. is the first week he performed, there was a clue there showed a map of the Caribbean. But I don't think that would be the first clue they would show in a clue package for somebody that was in Hamilton. That would either be something they would just make a subtle hint to, or something something that they would say something about later on. But Taye Diggs was in a show at Disneyland Tokyo, which was some sort of Sebastian's Caribbean Carnival or something like that. And the reason, because of the subtlety of the clues this season, that's why I'm really, really leaning towards Taye Diggs. But it still could be Leslie Odom Jr. We really still have a lot more to think about it. It could be anybody. It could be Barry Manilow for all we know, the way this season's going, because these clues, it's crazy. It is really, really crazy.
I think after last night's reveal, I think just because we made these guesses doesn't mean we should sit on them, because it could be anybody. After how shook we were last night, it can be anybody.
Yeah.
I know, but I think it could be Tay because with the clues with the scrubs and he was in private practice.
Yeah.
And I know he
also in Rent.
Yeah, and Idina Menzel and him have a baby.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
So it could be him, but like Jake said, it could be somebody we have no idea who.
Yeah.
It could be, I can't remember the name of that guy.
Ryan McKnight.
He was he was on Scrubs.
Oh,
He was,
Donald Faison.
yeah,
I,
because he
I
was,
really haven't looked him up, but that is a good guess. It could be any TV doctor, like George Clooney, Anthony Edwards, anybody.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah.
Hugh Glory. It could be anybody.
Anyway, moving on from somebody that we really have no idea because it's been such a crazy season to somebody who I at least am pretty positive about, the Crocodile, saying "Toxic" by Britney Spears. I thought it was okay. I didn't like it as much as his performance last week. Some of the clues include a house with skull and crossbones and an American flag, the number 5 on his house. He said his dad didn't believe in his talent. His childhood clue was a piñata filled with dolphins. He said, really funny wordplay, kind of a Robin Thicke joke, said that the clue has important porpoise to it. Nicole and Robin guessed it was Adam Lambert. Ken guessed Lenny Kravitz. Joel guessed Harry Connick Jr. That sounds nothing like him. And finally, I really do think it's Nick Carter, because the clues the first week we saw him sliding. He had a small role in Edward Scissorhands. Him on a slip and slide. He sort of grew up in the Hollywood mindset, but some of the clues this week point to Florida, especially the skull and crossbones. Could be a reference to the Buccaneer clue, and also the number 5 on the house could refer to one of two things. It could either refer to he is one of 5 kids, or he is one of 5 members of the Backstreet Boys, or it could point to both of them. But I'm still sticking with my guess of Nick Carter.
I want to say, first and foremost, I never envisioned a guy singing "Toxic," but it actually sounded really good. I never envisioned a male singer singing this, but
there was a guy on American Idol that did like an acoustic kind of folk version of it a few years ago.
It was good. I really enjoyed it. But I do think he had a better performance last week. I agree with you, but this was still good. As far as guesses go, I'm going to double down with you on Nick Carter. It definitely sounds like his voice, and the clues sort of match up as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of sort of think it's a Carter, but it could be Aaron.
It could be Aaron too, yeah.
Aaron's been having a lot of personal issues lately, and he is like suffering from major mental illness and is sort of off the radar. So I really don't think it's him. I mean, weirder things have happened. I mean, Bear was Sarah Palin last season, but I don't think it's Aaron.
But it's definitely not Adam Lambert. I know. I would know him anywhere.
They've guessed him every season now.
I know, and I'm a devout Adam Lambert person.
It was him because his voice is distinct and he has trouble holding back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he would be a little bit taller.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to tell, but I would know if it was Adam. He's got that screech or whatever, and I just can't see him toning it down any. So no.
Anyway, moving on. Up next was Baby Alien, who was unmasked last night, which we will get to. But he sang "It's Time" by Imagine Dragons. I didn't like it as much as last week. I think that's the reason he went, was because of his performance. It wasn't as good as last week. But some of the clues, it showed him on a beach as an alien guard in sort of a Baywatch parody. He said he had been roasted before. Under beaming spotlight of big city, experienced encounters with money-hungry sharks. There was a hot dog shown. The childhood clue was a toy fire truck. It said it was near and dear to his heart. He said that Joel McHale was hot on his trail. Joel guessed Eric Bana. They were going off some weird things because of the accent. Joel guessed Eric Bana, who has some sort of Russian heritage. Nicole guessed Sacha Baron Cohen and Jeff Dunham, which with a Eastern European accent and the puppeteering would be way too obvious for those two guesses. Ken guessed Taylor Lautner because of Shark Boy and Lava Girl. I really thought that was a horrible guess. I thought it was Justin Guarini from American Idol, especially the beach clue from Justin to Kelly. He said he had been roasted before, which I sort of thought had been related to Idol and Simon Cowell, and plus the voices sounded so similar. But turns out that it was New York Jets quarterback Mark Sanchez, who I think blew everybody's mind. The panel was way off. The viewers were way off. And like I said, this is why I think none of the guesses really should be set in stone, because the clues are a lot harder this season.
I was shook. I was shook as could be. I was blown away, and he can actually sing good for an athlete. That was actually really good. Yeah, I thought it was. I was sticking to my guess of Matt LeBlanc, but I was shook. That was incredible for an athlete. He sang decently for a football athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think everybody's jaws dropped when that was Mark Sanchez, because I had no clue. He didn't even enter my mind or anybody else's, but I thought it was Justin, especially when they did the beach scene, like you said. I thought immediately of Justin and Kelly, and then I'm kind of glad that they have the voting the way they are right now, because I think in previous seasons, Baby Alien might have gone a little bit further than someone else that was better.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in this way, it was the right decision for him.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he was good last night, but not as good as the others.
Mm-hmm. Up next, we had Whatchamacallit, one of the rappers we had this season. There were green airplanes in the sky. He said he had rough patches before. His mom was sick but wanted him to continue his career. There were 5 or 6 dimes. I didn't really see the number, but they were on the screen at the end of his clue package. I thought it was a great performance. This guy definitely has some rapping skills. Whether or not it's a rapper, I have no idea. His childhood clue was a fairy tale book. He said he's an open book and that Ken should know exactly who he is. Jenny guessed Cam Newton because there was a Black Panther in the clue package. Cam, of course, played for the Panthers. Robin Thicke, I guess Terrell Owens, because he was on Dancing with the Stars, and he mentioned something on Dancing with the Stars in his first clue package. Ken guessed either Kyrie Irving, who is a basketball player, or Armie Hammer, who is some actor I had never heard of before tonight. I have no idea who it is. I was thinking maybe because of the dimes in the package, it could be 50 Cent, but it sounds nothing like him. The name that I'm seeing a lot on social media is a basketball player for the New York Pelicans by the name of Lonzo Ball. I think that's one of the consistent guesses I'm seeing online, but literally I have no idea. Plus, it doesn't help that I'm not much on rap, so.
I mean, I'll say this was better than the performance last week. Whatchamacallit definitely had a better performance this week, I think. And I'm kind of lost on who it is. I honestly don't have any guesses for this one. I'm kind of lost with it, honestly. But I think the one thing I could say is based on last night was that this is somebody that maybe Ken has done a movie with, because if Ken should know who he is, then it's probably somebody Ken's done a movie with.
Well, some people I've been seeing him and saying Kevin Hart, but I really don't know where any of the clues fit, except I know that at one point his mom did die, and I know that had a lot of impact on him. But I think it's too tall to be Kevin Hart, honestly.
You know what? I'm just wondering. I'm going to just take a guess. And out of the blue and say definitely is a rapper and just throwing out names. And I've seen a few people mention it. It's Wiz Khalifa.
Wiz Khalifa? Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, the Black Panther could sort of just be a hidden guess for his song Black and Yellow. But I don't know. This has just been such a confusing season.
Right. I mean, it's just a guess at this point, but we definitely need more clues. But
Yeah.
it could be a possibility, or even Ice-T or somebody.
Could be.
But
we know that he has done a lot. He's a rapper, an actor. He has done a lot.
I have to say that's one of my favorite costumes, though. I just love the way it looked, the whole look on it.
Yeah, the costumes this season are amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so and final performance of the night was probably one of the best in Masked Singer history. It was Seahorse with My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. She said she was a bit tame in her normal life, tried hard to make a name for herself, experienced loss and pain. A childhood clue was feathers inside a balloon. Robin guessed BB Rexa, Jenny guessed Camila Cabello, and Joel guessed Jessica Simpson. Definitely not Jessica Simpson's voice. She doesn't have that range, I don't think. I'm really starting to like the Tori Kelly guess. I'm really leaning towards Tori Kelly, and a lot of her fans think it's her. The loss and everything, talking about how she had a hard time making a name for herself. She was on American Idol. She didn't make the top 24. She was really young at the time, probably really, really upset her not making it. It talked about her retreating to her room, could refer to her popularity on YouTube after she was eliminated on Idol. She made YouTube videos in her bedroom. So the guess I really, really like is Tori Kelly.
I think there was a reason they were saving Seahorse to perform last for tonight, because she was gonna blow the house off, and she did. That was the best performance of the night. Somebody needs to show that to Celine Dion, because that was incredible. So as far as guesses go, and I'm gonna say this, Seahorse definitely outsang the Sun this week, as far as I'm concerned. She definitely outsang the Sun, and the Sun has serious competition. But as far as guesses go, I do like the Tori Kelly guess, but I'm also gonna throw in another guess. I think there have been a lot of Disney references in the clue package, so I am going to also throw in a guess for Vanessa Hudgens. She's petite, which I think the Seahorse is somebody petite. She is a good singer, and I don't know, I have a feeling she could hit those notes, so I'm going to go with Vanessa Hudgens as a backup guess, but I very much like the Tori Kelly guess.
Yeah, I like the Tori Kelly guess too, but one name kind of popped in my head last night was Vanessa Carlton. She sang 1,000 Miles.
She doesn't have that. I don't think. I mean, I could be wrong. You know, from what I've heard of her before, I don't think her voice is that powerful.
The clue that struck me, there was a clue in there about 1,000 miles, and as soon as they said that, something clicked in my head. I mean, I'm totally probably off base, and it is Tori, but Vanessa kind of popped in my head, and it could maybe be her, but I doubt it. But I think at this point that if she does not win, there's something seriously wrong.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, a lot of people, I mean, also, like, some people are, like, very all over the place with Seahorse. Like, I've seen guesses all over the place, so people are not obviously all on the same page about Seahorse.
Yeah, Seahorses, they're all really, 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 really difficult to guess, except for maybe a couple. I'm sure on Crocodile, Popcorn, and Sun, I really don't know with anybody else. Those are the only three. And we are going, next week is our first week with Group C. So we'll see jellyfish, lips, mushroom, broccoli, and I forgot the other one.
Wiggly Monster.
Squiggly Monster. Yeah. And so next week is the first Group C episode. So we'll finally get to see some new faces. Possibly see if we have any other contenders. And Barb, you actually got to see some of these guys. So
I did, and I voted for one, but my favorite costume was a different one. But I still kind of think like when we at the beginning of the when we first said who was who, but I'm just waiting to see the performances. I'm wondering if it's the one that I saw. I think it might be. But I can't wait to see it. And
it's gonna be really, really fun. I can't wait for next week. But anyway, make sure you guys follow us on all of our social media, which is in the comments below or in the description. Subscribe to our page, follow us on social media. And coming up on Friday, we are going to be doing shows for The Bachelorette and The Amazing Race. We're really, really excited about that.
I'm so glad The Amazing Race is back.
Yeah. And next Tuesday and Wednesday, Barb and I will be starting our voice show where we cover The Voice, which premieres on Monday night on NBC. Until then, everybody enjoy the rest of your week and have a good day, and we will see you next time.